Okay.
Hello, this is Linda Vettrus-Nichols, evolutionaryhealer.com, and I have with me the most amazing person, Rukshana Hafez Trim. Did I say it right, Rukshana?
Hafez, yeah, but you got it, yeah. Thank you.
Wonderful. It's so great to have you, and you have an amazing story of transformation, and I would love to have you share that with us right now.
Thank you so much, Linda, for having this opportunity to do this today. I really am grateful for that. My story is just, I lived in a refugee camp for 10 years, came to the United States when I was 16, and, just overcame a lot of trauma and sex abuse. And then all that hold me to really be authentic who I am as a real person, to be free, to enjoy life, to live fully. So, and then I just turned into depression, ate my soul out, and became obese. And then just about 4 years ago, I said, that's it, no more. And that's when my transformation started. And I went through the journey of losing weight, taking charge of my life and recreating and designing my life. So last year, I went ahead and designed my life how I wanted it to be. I started my business and help women, empower women around the world to create their life as well and take them in the outdoors. And that's about it.
That is so cool. I love that part, because really that was part of you really getting to the level of your own soul, is just to be out in the outdoors, which you love very much, I know, and to be sharing your story with other women and having them share their story. And I love the idea of the well-supported woman, and that is exactly what you do so brilliantly well. So, great. All right, so you're going to be talking about living from strength and faith, and that really fits your story. So let's get going.
Okay. Living from strength, my journey is just, like I said, I really use my journey, and I help women as well. And to have the strength to be able to create the life that you want, and about 4 years ago, I created an outdoor community where I helped women to be outside, start walking and start hiking, and that takes a lot of strength. And through that's where I also had the creative idea to start my own business. Now, not everybody will jump out and start to say that I'm going to create my own business,
No. Take some mindset work on that one. That's where your social worker background came in, right?
That's right. That's right. I mean, I love my social work job, but I felt like I was meant for more. There was more into me, that being outside in the outdoor with women, hearing their inspiring stories, I said, we are all connected. And I wanted to use my skills and just be out there and do that. And that's where I went ahead and I started my business. I hired a coach, and I started reading books. I started going to conferences, and that's where that shift happened. But again, that's where really also the faith came in. I'm like, knowing that everything will come as you envisioned. It's scary. It's really scary, but trusting the process, said, okay, I got this, and I know it's going to happen. But There's a lot of triumph through it, through a lot of challenges, but having that faith that it's all going to work out. And it is. It is working out, and there's ups and downs, but there's most likely, look at it, there's a lot of good things in it.
Wonderful. Let's keep moving. I love this stuff.
Yeah. So
can you figure out how to change the slide?
Oh, sorry. I didn't get that. There we go. There we go.
All right. So you can do anything your heart desires. All right. So tell me a little bit more about that, because you certainly have, from the refugee camp to America to, to some pretty crappy marriages to the ultimate man of anybody's dream. He's so wonderful. And yeah, tell us a little bit more about that.
Oh my goodness. Oh yes, I do believe that you can do anything your heart desires. I really am a true believer of that. You know, we came to America where dreams come true. I'm very grateful for my family, for my parents to bring us here. And, you know, to be able to write down my story and seeing that story in writing in paper, and then also creating the goals was to be able to see those goals to be achievable. And that's when everything turned around. Really, everything just opened up, my whole world. You know, like you were saying earlier that you know, I attracted the wrong people in my life because of prior of my thinking. You know, my thoughts were in a ruddy area. You know, I had very negative thinking. My energy was attracting those kind of negative people around me. So I kept going in relationship that was just, you know, hurting me more, you know, just putting me down in the situations that were not very, very pleasant. It's not when I really designed and wrote down the man of my dreams that I wanted. I manifested the man of my dreams by creating that space, by writing things down, by visualizing and meditating and going through that space to see that it is possible. And I was married twice. I got divorced twice, and through that, 2 marriages were great learning experiences. I said, what did I learn from that experience? What can I take moving forward? And from that, to be able to use those tools, I said, okay, I've done those mistakes. Those were great mistakes. Those are great learning tools. Let's move forward by writing a creative story and how I want my life to be. And I am married to a phenomenal, amazing man, Philip Treeman. He just supports me 100%. He is, he lights up, ignites my fire, and I can never have just enough gratitude for him, and he knows that. And I'm very, very grateful. And to have the freedom to create and design your life, and to create the person that you want to be with, and to create that space and the energy to create a business. You know what I mean? It's just incredible just to be able to see that anybody can do anything. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
I love it. I love it. Okay. And then with that attitude comes freedom. So, you were really, did you ever have that sense that you were trapped in those other marriages?
Yes, I was. I wasn't really me. It wasn't really me. It was really the other person. I didn't exist. It was everything they did, everything they like to eat, everything they like surrounded with. I didn't have an identity. I was their identity. I didn't exist as being who I was. I didn't even know if I liked spaghetti. I hate spaghetti.
Right? What do I like? That's huge though, because when someone says, or if you get into coaching and it's like the coach is like, what do you want? You're like, I don't know. and sometimes it starts with, well, I know what I don't want, or they start throwing ideas out at you. Like, no. And you at least begin to learn what it is that you don't want. But in the long run, all of that, process, that mindset, that inner work does switch over, does transform you, and does bring you to that beautiful place of freedom where you're vibrating at the vibration of the things that you really are choosing, and that you finally do really know that that's how you want it, right?
It's beautiful though. It's so beautiful to have that freedom, to have that no one is controlling your emotions, and no one is controlling what you do, what you like to be in that space of vulnerability is so peace. I can't even explain. It's really hard to put it into words.
Well, nobody's shaming you. That's what I love. My word last year was Shih Tzu, because Shih Tzus are not on the cognitive level of the brain. They're on the level below that. And they're more like cats. They're not like dogs. Dogs are very cognitive. And so, you teach them something 51 times, but if they're scared, they'll remember it for the rest of their lives. It's just
Yes, yes.
something else. But you cannot shame them. You can't.
Mhm.
They're unshameable. So it's like last year I was like, yeah, Shih Tzu, because I kept drawing in the predator for some reason last year, and it's like, the hell with this, and I even did it again in my meetup, and our first meetup was like Predator City, and it's like, no, and my second meetup was so different. I totally shifted, and I got the most amazing, grounded, mature women who were ready for the work, ready to share, hungry for every word I had to say. It was so beautiful. And we just forget our power. We forget who we came here as, that spirit embodied. And it's just so juicy when you tap into that. And so it gives you so much peace. So tell us a little bit about peace.
Oh my goodness. To be peaceful, honestly, it's to walk into to walk who I am, to just be me, not being someone else. And I was, coming from Mozambique in Africa, I have a culture where there's certain things you have to be who you are, and it's really not me, I don't feel like peace, like to get out of that. And the last month I cut my hair because I had so much limiting beliefs, so many layers of stuff that was keeping me from moving forward. And I said, I'm just gonna I'm gonna shave it off. I did. I had curly coarse hair. I just shaved it off because I didn't want those layers anymore, and I just let it go. I said, I need to start all over. I need to create this piece that's coming into my life. So it really felt that I had to let go of that. I had to let go a lot of things that I thought were real things, but I kept questioning them. And I'm like, this is not who I am. This is what my culture taught me to be. This is what society wants me to be. And this is not who I want to be anymore. I don't like being that person anymore. I don't, so yeah, I feel so much peace to be able to shave my hair. I feel so much peace to walk into my skin and to say what I feel is right, and to stand up to say what is right. And also to use my voice to be able to say, this is not right what you're believing. These are old belief system. You can be yourself, but also to empower women to do the same thing. So.
Yeah, I love it. And, and beyond peace, it does bring a great deal of joy back into your life as you're tapping into like, okay, what do I want? Right. And, what do you need? What do you want? And how can I help you is what I used to use at a psychiatric day treatment center with kindergarten through fifth graders. I know you can appreciate that as a former social worker, as a former special education teacher. I got a lot of black eyes till I started using that line. What do you need? What do you want? And how can I help you? Right. And with my clients, I do teach that need is a lack word. And then once we get that one under control, then we go back to what I used to use at the day treatment center, so that you can, just wake up in the morning, okay, what do I need? What do I need today? Do I need to sleep in? What am I choosing to do today? And once they lose the lack language of the word need, then they understand that it's really more choice. All right. Well, let's keep going. This is so good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to go on to the next slideshow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Here we go.
All right. So you are love. All right. So experience love. Oh, yeah. Receive love and give love. So that's kind of a full circle, isn't it?
Absolutely. I just love this slideshow. So yes. One of the beautiful thing about evolving and changing is you learn how to receive. And that's something I never did. I was always giving. And, at the end, you kind of get empty. You feel like you don't exist. You're not alive. Yeah. It doesn't make you who you are as a person. And, and I understand now as I'm into more of self-awareness, I've gone through all this journey of self-development, and I said, you know what? I am here in a form of love. Everything I do, I am doing it with love, my presence with love, my listening, my knowledge, and sharing with love. But it's also wonderful to also start receiving it and allow myself to sit with it and say, okay, I get it. Thank you. When someone gives me a compliment, I said, thank you for saying that. I really am grateful. And just sit with it. Not just take away that compliment, especially like us as women, we take that compliment and we give it back instead of sitting with it and receiving it. You have a beautiful necklace, or you have a beautiful headphones, I'm like, oh, I got, we always have to feel like we have to justify things. I'm like, no, sit with it and receive it and allow, because all this receiving is like you're really in love. You're being loved what you're doing with it, with the beautiful life that you have. So
yeah, receiving is a huge one. Even being able to receive money, in payment for your own business, right? And oh man, I remember starting out. I had a business I called Whole Child Institute, and it like everything was free, and then it was like the now husband's like, CPA is like, you get to charge for something here. And it was like, oh, okay, like $50, Then it was $150. And then I brought in some other providers and did some assessments, and then it was $300,
Yeah.
And everybody seems to go through this, self-lack kind of thing. And yet when I was 5 years old, I would stand out on the street corner and go, potato chips. I had a bag of potato chips, 5 cents. I was an entrepreneur at like 3, and the neighbor guy, just to shut me up, came and bought the whole bag. I wasn't good at math. I could have made more at 5 cents more.
That's funny.
Yeah, right?
Yes. And I learned that in my business too. I really did. I learned how to stop giving and also to receive. Even when someone asked for a consultation, and I said, I'll be more than happy to consult with you for 30 minutes, and after that, then I do charge $50 an hour. So just understanding that your value and your worth, it's not just you're always giving, that's great, but you're valuable, you really matter, and just receive that also as well.
Yeah, awesome. All right, let's keep going. Okay. So you are a gift in this world. Yes, definitely. And especially through one story. I mean, just think of the people who have told their story in a very vulnerable way, because a lot of people don't. So sometimes that feels like kind of a rare gift that they're being vulnerable. And you really get to know them quickly at a deep level. And then in turn, it kind of opens up one's vault to share vulnerably back. And when we do that, again, it goes back to that peace and joy and receiving love and giving love and the whole 9 yards. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about how you, like when you shared your story, I'm getting the giggles here because I know you have this part of your story where, once you got things all kind of shifted out, your story started pouring out and you actually got kicked out of a meetup type group with hikers because you couldn't shut up. It just kept pouring out of you. It reminds me of Sex in the City when her girlfriends are like, you need to shrink, They're like, we can like help you like so far, So
absolutely.
What was it like after that? Like, were you shamed? Did you feel shame? What happened? And then how did you shift all of that to make it really work?
So I went through an identity crisis change. I mean, I was an empty nester. My kids moved out of the house. I didn't know who I was anymore. So I was joined meetup groups where I was leading walks. And then with walks, and I challenged myself to start doing hikes. So, and then, the organizer of the meetup eventually, kicked me out because I challenged her in different forms and matter. But it's that evolving. I started talking to so many women. I started learning. I started sharing, and my mind was expanding, and I was learning so much, and I was reading a lot, and I was growing. And then and of course, I got kicked out, and I think purpose that I got kicked I got kicked out of the group is because I couldn't shut up, of course, you know, and I was really becoming I was becoming authentic. I was being real. Like I was saying
Yeah.
things as it is, and I was tired of the old stories, and I
Right.
was tired of the old limiting belief. I'm like, you know, and I challenged it. I challenged her, and
Okay.
from that, I felt like, oh wow, yeah, I talked a lot, but gosh, did I have to say so much at the same time? You know, so I had a lot of shame and that had built up and guilt. I was like, maybe I should not talk all of that. Maybe I should have be quiet. You know, maybe I should just serenade that, sit with it, and you know, deep in. Maybe she's right, but you know, as you start growing, you won't allow anyone really to suppress you down because you're becoming who you are. It's
Right.
that wonderful gift, you know, in the presence of all of that.
Yeah.
So
And you were
yes,
becoming a leader, you know, the
yes,
coach in you was really pouring out, right?
yes, and
I love it. Okay. And so your presence, right? So
mhm,
you're a gift to the world. So remember, your story is a gift to the world, your presence, just you being in the world, right?
yes.
Everybody is listening in, you know, your presence is even a gift. So tell us a little bit more about your understanding of that and your opinion with that.
I admire now every time I spend time with the people that I love. Like, you know, I'm really immersed in just being there because I know that if I'm there, they have blocked their time off for me to be there and for me to listen, to validate their story. Like everybody has a story, and
Mm-hmm.
every story is very important and valuable, and that's what connects us together into this world.
Right.
And for me to be there, I feel so much love. I really do. Like I can just immerse. I can just. That's what something I enjoy being around women, hearing their story, hearing their journey, knowing that we are all connected in some level. But I love being in the presence of women, and I know that also in my presence in the world. That as I'm going through this, I'm taking my story, writing this book, and sharing what all the women around the world, knowing that you know we can do this, we can change, we can become a better being. You know, we already have all the resources, it's within us, it's in us. We just need to kind of, you know, work through a couple of things here and there. So, you know, as I'm sharing my journey, my presence in this world, I'm also inspiring women through this time as we're going through it as well. And you know, and that's just, yeah, I'm just humbled by to be able to share the story with all the women, and also to teach and educate and overcoming a lot of their limiting beliefs as well.
Right. Yeah. It's just like you're wrapping all your gifts and your background into one. And it's so beautiful. And you hold very powerful space for these
Yes.
women, you know,
Mhm.
and sometimes that's what we forget
Yeah.
when, you know, we've got someone who's coaching us there. They might not be right there in front of your face, but they're holding space for you. And, you
Mhm.
know, as soon as you leave them, it's like, wait a minute, you know,
Yeah.
you thought you were doing that for yourself, and you don't always appreciate how much space they're actually holding for you, and strength that they're sending your way too, so that you
Absolutely.
can do your inner work, right?
Yeah, and yesterday I was in this conversation in this community where we're having conversations where, you know, all these women feel like they're not worthy the success that they want. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, yes, you are. I can see you have so many gifts. Your story is a success, you know? And then
Yeah.
I just finally went in there. I'm like, you know what? I took my trauma story. I took my, you know, all the stuff, the crap that happened in my past, and I turned that into a package to deliver, and I am helping other women around the world. I'm like, you're a success, you know, your story is a success. And I just went in there and I'm like, you can do it. And you know, with a lot of women, we feel like we don't believe that we don't deserve that success. I'm like, no, you deserve it. I'm like, I just want to lift them up, like, I see you have this great gift, and your presence is a
Yeah.
wonderful story to success. Yeah.
And that's your gift you're bringing, is that you see people, you know, you
Mhm.
see them for who they really are. And I
Yeah.
love that. So, okay, let's keep going. And
Yeah.
so what about your gift? Your time is a gift. Like you were saying, you were doing everything for everybody else. And that's certainly not a gift back to you, to not have good boundaries, right? So tell us a little bit more about your time and how our time is actually a gift to us and others, right?
Hmm. Hmm. And with the time, I really have learned. And it's ongoing, especially now I'm running my business and, scheduling time for myself, scheduling time to get my hair done, a massage. And that's something I've never done. There was so much guilt, as a mom, as a wife, there was so much guilt behind it. Like, I always felt like I didn't deserve to take care of me. And now I'm so respectful of other people's time. I'm so respectful of my time. When sometimes I want to cancel things that I scheduled for myself, I feel guilty because now I know that I am worthy of so much of that, because if I take care of myself, I know I can take care of other things around me as well. I'm more present, I'm more in tuned, and it's really that loving myself. I mean, I wouldn't come this far if I didn't love myself, if I didn't take care of me, if I didn't learn how to give myself those wonderful gifts. Like, it was the first time I ever got my hair done was when my kids moved out of college, which was 4 years ago. All this time I just took care of everybody else. I didn't exist. I took care of my siblings, of my parents, so for me, I've come a long way. So I really cherish that time for myself as well. Yeah.
I love it. What are some of the things that you do just all by yourself?
I love to go for walks. I love to listen to music. I love to hike by myself as well. As much as I do with women, I also like to get away from that. I hike a lot by myself. I love to read. I'm just immersed in reading. I like to get lost in a book, and I love a lot of spiritual reading. I like to just challenge my mind to think,
Right.
And I'm trying to think. I think that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to go camping. I call it glamping because I've got like a 3-tier quick bed, and I've got a queen size bed that's super comfortable. I have anti-gravity, glamping. It's a thing out in California, actually. They set it all up for you. You got hair dryers and everything. I didn't go to that extreme. My hair is short enough, no hair dryers. So yeah, and I have anti-gravity chairs, and so if my husband goes with me, we each have a chair. But yeah, so I take my anti-gravity chair and my quick bed and my 2-bedroom tent and just go sit in, and it's not like in the woods away from like everything or everybody. It's not with the dogs and it's not with the husband. As much as I absolutely love traveling and camping with them, I discovered last year, well actually the year before, when my husband went and had open heart surgery, had a birth defect repaired, I literally made sure that he came out of surgery, he was doing okay. I knew his daughter was going to be with him. She was going to be with us for a week, and I didn't know what I was going to come home with because they were going to freeze his brain, and you can have brain damage, and I just didn't know how much care. And I thought, oh my gosh, when am I ever going to get camping again? It's kind of an unknown. I'm going camping alone.
It's so important to give yourself permission to do that, and it's like that self-talk and all the responsibility, especially as women, that we have to do this, and just giving ourselves permission to go.
And I had a friend that she would never ever do that. She'd have to be like right there making sure that they did everything just right, and because hospitals are dangerous, and it's just like, he has his daughter, he's a big boy. She's 40, she can handle it,
Absolutely.
And it was awesome.
Yeah, I tell women always in the women's outdoor group, I always tell them that the hardest thing is to show up for yourself. Yes, the hardest thing. And if you do show up for yourself, you should congratulate, because that is the most challenging, because that last minute self-talk to show up it's the challenge.
It is the challenge. And again, back to my meetup, it was so cool because they were talking about they get into meetups, and people say they're coming and then they don't, and blah blah blah. And this is a group of 10 solid women that they're at that level where they know how to show up, and it's like, oh, I've found my tribe.
Yes,
it's really precious. So
yes.
Cool. All right, that was a gift to me, and you're definitely a gift to me, and you have a gift for everybody. So let's move on and fill them in. Oh, we've got our summary yet. Yeah. So to summarize, right, you can do anything your heart desires. You are love. and then all those different, versions of even receiving love and the importance of it. And then you are a gift to the world, and just your presence is a gift. So go ahead and summarize all of that for us, Rukshana, because this has been wonderful.
Absolutely. So anybody can do anything their heart desires. If I can do it, you can definitely do it. And so write down your story and look at it on paper so you can clear out your mind. So that way it's in there, you can see it. Visualize it, meditate upon it, get a coach through the journey, and take the time to love, to really, as much you love others, take the time also to love yourself first, receive the love, sit with it. And honestly, your story is a gift to the world. My challenges, my triumphs that I came through, it was a gift. What I went through is now a gift to so many women around the world. And now I'm able to go back and help other women in Mozambique and through this journey. If I wouldn't come this far, if I didn't come this, if I didn't use my story to come this far, I would still be where I was, 10 years ago. But now I'm going to take the story, turn it into a book, and now doing conferences and training and speaking, and now going back, doing a full circle around and giving it to the women who needs it the most in Mozambique. So I'm really excited about that.
That is so cool. I love it. I love it. And I've really enjoyed helping you put your book together. And I know you were thinking you'd have to write for months on end, and you come out in the fall, 6 months later.
I really did.
No, Rukshana, it's coming out this month, and you're like, really?
I really did.
But I thought that was going to be. Go ahead.
I really did. I really thought that it's going to take another year. But when you put it down in paper, I was like, really? That fast? And I'm like, I had anticipated all this time to be working on that and on the book. And I was thinking, I was like, okay, if I work on the book, what's the next project I'm going to go on? But you made it look so simple. You simplified the process by putting it down on paper, by putting the date line. And I was like, wow, that's impressive. So you made, again, I think it's that mindset. Sometimes we take in something and we create this big of a deal, but it's really not. And our mind has a tendency of doing that and taking this small thing and just taking so much space. And that's,
all that protection the ego gets in there. Oh my goodness, right? Yeah, it's the mind fu, that to write a book. It really is. I'm on my 12th, and it is every time. And I'm not a writer. I'll get a download and it'll be perfect, or I just jot stuff down here and then I'll pull it all together, or I take a tape recorder and I go, here, tell your story, which is what I did with my first book from my old Child Institute days, right? Yeah. So it's not about sitting there and writing everything out like Stephen King, although his book on writing is amazing. Yeah, so you can put a book together quite quickly, and and I have an amazing clarity exercise that I take people through, and boom, there's their slides. These slides are the chapters of your book. It's been so much fun to work with you, and I've interviewed over 50 women and put some into a compilation book already too. This is great.
What a phenomenal experience to be able to do that, and I really am grateful for you to have, to help me through this process. Like I said, I felt like it was a bigger process than it turned out to be, and now I'm working on my second book. I'm like, wow, I never even thought about that.
But about the second book, I love it.
But I really am grateful for you to help me through this process, because I really, like I said, how the title came about. I'm like, wow, that was very in tune. That was just perfect. That both thing worked together with the title, and through my journey of my story, how we crossed, went from Mozambique to Malawi, how we hiked, and that just, and coming up with that title, it actually brought some more information from my past that I was not aware of, and I was sitting there. So, and then I was able to journal it and put it into, for the next book. So
nice.
So thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Just your journaling, or if somebody had a podcast, I've used people's podcasts, just to fluff out the book even more. And it's just amazing how quickly you can get your message out into the world. So I'm here to hold space for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So let's get to your gift. because it's really juicy.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, look
like
at that. Meditation for beginners, a whole video series. They're giving that away. It's like, oh my gosh, thank you. That's so wonderful. And so people just go to womenslifestylecoaching.com and
Yes.
just opt in right there, and they'll be in touch with you, as well as get this video series. So, you know, you can keep getting the word out to them, you know, where you're going in your journey. Why don't you tell us about the meditation for beginners?
But the meditation, I did it really for people who are just beginning, who are learning how to meditate, who don't know the concept. And it's, you know, people's like, well, it's really, really hard. It's very difficult. You know, what you need to do first is just schedule it on your calendar, and that's it, you know, and don't make it, and it's 2 minutes. I think anybody can do 2 minutes, you know, and it's the whole process of when we say things are very difficult, then they're going to be difficult. But the whole purpose of meditation is really to respect our sexy brain and just to shut it down for a little bit. Really give that breather and just shut it down for a little bit. Get some oxygen in there, because of that moment, that 2 minutes, it's going to add so much value into your life. It's going to give you more out of your life. So the whole purpose of it is just teaching yourself the basic way how to meditate. And it's very, very simple. All you're just doing in this meditation video is you're listening to the steps, what's next. And I made it as much simple as it is for a lot of people who are beginning, who are learning how to meditate. And they can do the sign up, and then it has 3 video series, and I give you permission to mess up, and there is no perfect way.
Yeah, right? Well, and some people think that meditation is just like sit in the chair, close your eyes, and, you know, be a good kid. You know, it's like, what? And I love active meditation. I went to a Zen art class. I bought a fine arts coloring book. Taking walks is meditation.
Yes.
It's amazing. I love the book by Ted Andrews, Animal Speak. If I see an animal on a walk, then I go home and look it up, and it tells me, you know, it's almost like a Chinese fortune cookie, you know, it starts to resonate with you, like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. And you can get deeper into your own thoughts, like in reflection on, okay, well, why was that little message for me? And a lot of times it's instantly, well, of course that message is for me. Of course I saw that, you know, cardinal or crow or, you know, whatever. So yeah, I
ordered the book so I could have it in my backpack, since I can go hiking a lot. It'd be nice to have.
Yeah, it's a nice. Well, I got it right here. I'll show you. It's so cute. It's right here.
Yeah, it's a pocket size. Yeah,
it's pocket size. Yeah, wonderful.
So they can go to the website of Women's Lifestyle Coaching, and then insert the email, and then they're going to get 1 video a day, which is going to guide them towards the beginning of meditation, just the basic.
Cool, everybody. How cool is that? All right. Well, thank you again, Rukshana. It's so great to have you here. Really appreciate it. This is Linda Vettrus-Nichols, evolutionaryhealer.com. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, Linda.